Hello everyone, I'm Anastasia. Welcome you all to this new session of Fundamental of Nursing. So in our previous session, as we have started discussing about nutrition, we've come to know what nutrition is, what is the importance, as well as what are the various factors that can affect the nutritional intake of a person. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the assessment of the nutritional need variables. So here, in order to be able to know the nutritional status of a person, it is important that we assess it, right? So this nutritional assessment is defined as the interpretation of the anthropometric, of the biochemical, of the clinical, as well as of the dietary data, so that we will get an idea and we will be able to determine whether a person or a group of people is well nourished, malnourished, or even overnourished. So here, in order to assess the nutritional status of a person, we can follow the ABCD method, where A stands for anthropometric, B stands for biochemical, C stands for clinical, and D stands for dietary. So by following this ABCD method, we will be able to assess the nutritional status of a person. So when we talk about the anthropometry, this comes from two words, where anthropo means human and metry means measurement. So as a nurse, whenever you're assessing the nutritional status of a person, you can use this anthropometric measurement in order to assess the growth or the change in the body composition of a person who you are responsible for. So here, the different measurements taken in order to assess this growth and body composition in the anthropometric measurement is as follows. So normally, whenever we perform this anthropometric measurement, it involves the measurement of the height, of the weight, of the chest, as well as of the head circumference, right? Whereas here, if you are required to assess the nutritional status of a person, then you only need to assess the height, the weight, the length, as well as the head circumference. So the first one is the length. So here, what you will be doing is that of a wooden measuring board, also known as the sliding board, you will be measuring the length of those children who are below 2 years of age to the nearest millimeters. However, you must keep in mind that whenever you measure the child in a lying position, it always gives a reading which will be greater than the child's actual height by 1 to 2 centimeter. So here, first of all, we always need to assess the height, right? However, if the child is under 2 years of age, then it is preferred. However, you must keep in mind that measuring the child lying down will always give a reading greater than the child's actual height by 1 to 2 centimeter. So here, when we assess this anthropometric measurement, especially to get an idea of the growth of a child, it is necessary that we must assess the height. But if it is for those children who are below 2 years of age, then we can assess it by the length. And when we do this, we need to make sure that the reading which we will be getting will always be greater than the child's actual height by at least 1 to 2 centimeter. And the next one is the height. So here, as I've said, that length is only measured for those children who are below 2 years of age. So the height will be measured for those children who are 2 years or more, or even for adults in a standing position. Here, while measuring this, the head of that particular person must be in a Frankfurt position, which means a position where a line passing from the external ear hole to the lower eyelid is parallel to the floor during the measurement, and the shoulder, buttocks, and heels should touch the vertical stand. And here, in order to measure the height of a person, we can either use the stadiometer or even a portable anthropometer. This measurement is also recorded to the nearest millimeter. So this is how you can assess the height of a person, and through this you will be able to get an idea of the nutritional status of a person as well. The next one is the weight. Here, a weighing sling or a spring balance, also called as the Salter scale, is used for measuring the height of those children who are under 2 years of age to the nearest 0.1 kg. Whereas in adult and children who are over 2 years of age, a beam balance is used to measure the weight, and the measurement is also to the nearest 0.1 kg. In both of these cases, a digital electronic scale can also be used if there is one available. However, we should not forget to readjust this scale to 0 before we assess our weight in order to get an accurate weight. And before you check your weight as well, in order to get a clear idea whether this digital electronic scale is working properly or not, you can first try it by weighing an object of a known weight, and if the measurement is the correct one, then you can start and you can rely on the measurement which you will be getting when you are assessing your own weight. And the last one is the head circumference. So this head circumference is the measurement of the head along the supraorbital ridge, which is the forehead, which is the prominent area on the back part of the head posteriorly. So here, whenever you assess the head circumference of a person, you must make sure that you measure it along the supraorbital ridge anteriorly and the occipital prominence posteriorly. This is also measured to the nearest millimeter using a flexible as well as a non-stretchable measuring tape about 0.6 centimeter in width. And why do we assess this head circumference? We do it because it is useful in assessing the chronic nutritional problem in children, especially in those who are below 2 years of age. And why is this head circumference used to assess the nutritional status of a person? Here, this head circumference is useful in assessing the chronic nutritional problem which can occur in children, especially to those who are below 2 years of age, because this is a stage whereby their brain will be growing faster. But after 2 years of age, the growth of brain is more sluggish. This is the reason why once a child have crossed 2 years of age, then assessing the head circumference is no longer useful. However, if they are still under 2 years of age, then this head circumference can be assessed. So while performing the anthropometric measurement, you must make sure that you assess the length, the height, the weight, as well as the head circumference in order to get a clear idea of the nutritional status of a person. And the second one is the biochemical assessment. This biochemical assessment is an objective method of measuring the nutritional assessment of a person. Through this method, it will be providing a specific information. Through this method, it also helps to provide a specific information on the body status regarding specific nutrients or excessiveness, and may also help to identify the borderline nutritional deficiencies or excesses. This biochemical assessment can also be used in order to assess the nutritional status of a large group of people. Through this biochemical assessment, it also helps to give us an idea of the macronutrients, which can include the markers of the carbohydrates, protein, as well as the fat metabolism and utilization. It also gives us an idea of the micronutrients measurement, which include the vitamins, minerals, and trace elements, which are often the most difficult to trace. So here, by performing this biochemical method, we can also get an idea of the nutritional status of a person. Next, when we talk about the clinical method, then this is an essential feature of all the nutritional survey because it is one of the simplest and the most practical method of obtaining the nutritional status of a large group of people. This clinical assessment utilizes a number of physical signs that are known to be associated with malnutrition, with deficiency of vitamins, as well as of the micronutrients. So this is why even by performing this clinical method, we can assess the nutritional status of a person, and this is also one of the simplest and the most practical method which is used in order to assess the nutritional status of a large group of people. And the last one is the dietary method. So this is a method whereby we will be assessing the nutritional status of a person by the amount of nutrition that a particular person consumes. So here this can be assessed by 5 different methods, which include the 24 hours dietary recall, which means we will be asking questions of what are the various food that a person had consumed within the 24 hours, by providing a food frequency questionnaires, by collecting the history of the diet which a person follows since his early life. The fourth is the food diary technique, and the last is the observed food consumption. So here we will be assessing the nutritional status of a person by asking them about the foods which he had intake within the past 24 hours, by providing questionnaires, by obtaining the history about their diet through the food diary technique and by observing the food which they are consuming. So this is how you can also assess the nutritional status of an individual through the dietary method. So now here we have come to the end of this session, whereby in today's session we have discussed about the assessment of the nutritional need variables. So here, in order to be able to assess the nutritional status of a person, you can also follow the ABCD method, which is the anthropometric, where you will be measuring the length, the height, the weight, and the head circumference. Or you can also assess it through the biochemical method, the clinical method, and even through the dietary method. So I hope you have got a clear understanding of this topic. I will be meeting you in another session where we will be continuing with this topic, and we will discuss in detail about the clinical methods of assessing the nutritional status of a person. Until then, have a good day. Thank you.